A center court debut for Emma Raducanu, a shock first-round exit for Ons Jabeur. All the day's play coming up next on another packed day at Eastbourne. Hello and welcome to our live coverage of Day 3 here in Eastbourne. It's me, and as always, I'm delighted to be here at the WTA International, the final tune-up event for Wimbledon Station, which starts in 5 days' time. And what better way to spend a glorious summer's day than watching some top-class women's tennis here at one of my favorite venues. The crowds are building. The atmosphere is really good, and we're going to see some intriguing matches today. We have the home favorite and world no. 2, Naomi Osaka taking on the veteran Angelique Kerber. We also have an all-British battle between Heather Watson and Katie Boulter, with the winner going on to face Caroline Garcia, who beat both of them last week in the final of the Viking Open in Bad Homburg. We also have some other interesting first-round matches, including the big-hitting American Madison Keys taking on the surprise package of the week so far, and Elena Kalinina and the former U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens facing off against the informed Spaniard Sara Sorribes-Tormo. But first up on center court, it's the debut on this surface for the reigning U.S. Open champion Emma Raducanu, who experienced Romanian pair, the former world no. 1 Simona Halep in doubles. They're up against another former world no. 1 Victoria Azarenka and her partner, the Australian Open champion Elena Rybakina. It was tough for Emma yesterday. She had a tough three-setter against the Belgian Kirsten Flipkens. She didn't quite have her best stuff, but she got through. And, when you look at these sort of lineups, it doesn't make for easy first-round fare, does it? A lot of big names, a lot of former Grand Slam champions, and, it's a really tough draw. But Emma has shown that she can handle these situations. She won the US Open last year. She knows what it takes to perform on the big stage. And I think that experience will stand her in good stead today. As for Simona Halep, well, she's had a mixed season. A bit of a stop-start sort of form, but always dangerous, always a threat on this surface, and particularly on grass. She's had some good results in the past here at Eastbourne. So they're going to be a tough nut to crack, I think, for Vika and Elena. And just to add to the spice of this particular match, Elena and Vika were partners last year in Eastbourne. So there might be a few divided loyalties here. It's very interesting. And it's going to be fascinating to watch these four megastars battle it out on center court. As I said, not an easy draw for Emma, but, she's a fighter. She showed that yesterday, coming from a breakdown in the third set against Flipkens, and she dug deep and found a way to get over the line. And, it's a different format today in doubles, but I think she relished the challenge. She's a competitor. That's what makes her such a handful and such a dangerous opponent. And I think she'd be looking forward to this. There's no doubt about it. Well, they're on their way to the court now. Simona and Emma, great to see them. Let's give them a big welcome. They've sat down, they're getting changed, just waiting for the other two players to come on court. So just while we wait for this match to get underway, let's have a quick recap of yesterday's play. The big news, of course, was the shock defeat for Ons Jabeur in the first round. She was beaten by the qualifier, the lucky loser, if you like, after she was originally scheduled to play to qualify, but she pulled out injured and then came through the lucky loser section. And she was too good for Ons, actually, and she won in straight sets. Other results yesterday, Naomi Osaka came through in straight sets. She looked good, powerful, moving well. And she's got a tricky second-round match today against the veteran German Angelique Kerber. Angelique has had a really good year so far. She's made the quarterfinals of all 4 of the Slam events. She made the final here in Eastbourne 2 years ago. She's a real grass court specialist. So this is going to be a big test for Naomi, but she's playing well, as I say, and she should be too strong. Caroline Garcia continued her good form. She came through in straight sets. She's got a bye in the second round. And we'll see either Heather Watson or Katie Boulter in round 3, the other British player in action. Jo Birstall, unfortunately, had to retire with injury against Magdalena Frech, so that was a disappointing result. But today, as I said, we have those two Brits going head-to-head. Heather Watson versus Katie Boulter, 2 players who could really do with a good week here to boost their rankings, to boost their form. Heather had a run to the final here in Eastbourne 4 years ago. She's had a really good, solid season on the whole. And Katie Boulter is really finding her form on the grass courts this year. She had a brilliant win over Petra Kvitova at Wimbledon Station last week, and she followed that up with a win over Daria Kasatkina. So this is going to be a really intriguing match. And let's see how it unfolds. But as I said, whichever way it goes, the winner will face a tough test in the next round against the French Open finalist Caroline Garcia. We're ready to get underway here on center court. Emma and Simona are up against Vika and Elena. We've seen these two on the doubles court before in Eastbourne last year. Who remembers when Vika was playing with Nina Ostasenko and they beat the British pair of Harriet Dart and Alicia Barnett in the first round? Can anyone else remember that match? Some big rallies. But Vika and Elena have obviously changed partners this year. This is new combinations, but they're quickly gelling here. They're going through the motions. They're getting warmed up. It's going to be a fascinating contest. And without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Love to have your company today. Let me know in the comments below who you're supporting and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers. Bye.